Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm back. I am back. I am back. Many of you thought I might have been dead, but no. This podcaster is back. So, welcome back to another podcast of That Fashion Guy. This is podcast number 3, and I've been a bit too busy to really be focusing on this. Well, not necessarily too busy, but I guess I haven't put my priorities in place. Um, but actually, that's one of the reasons I want to start talking about today, and one of the things I want to talk about. Um, Lately, I've been a bit busy with my other side project, which kind of has become my main project with another friend of mine who is a gamer and streamer. I'll go ahead and put his link on my description. Texicano Gaming. Him and I have a podcast where we do social commentary in a very humorous and sometimes inappropriate way. It's completely in Spanish. I'll go ahead and put a link to our YouTube channel so you can go ahead and listen to us. We'll be having one this Thursday, and we'll be having our first guest, and that's really taken up a lot of my time, and I really have not dived into what is my own personal podcast, the Fashion Guy. That's one of the reasons I wanted to talk a little bit about this, is the idea of, the main reason I wasn't getting into it is because I wasn't feeling motivated enough anymore. I guess I was just busy with work and trying to get to the other podcasts that I really, really enjoy, because I don't feel any pressure. I don't feel any willingness, or not willingness, any need to deliver the best results. And then the other podcast, I pretty much just crack open a beer with my friend and we talk about everything and anything, and it's very natural and very relaxing to me. And I guess that's the reason I kind of became my priority. I started feeling that this idea, the Fashion Guy, whatever it is, because it's still in the product of developing itself, kind of wasn't there anymore. I thought I don't know, I just started feeling a lot like it was work, and a lot like if it was I had to show up and prepare everything and just do this. It's oh, I have to do this post, I have to do that. I wasn't really enjoying it anymore, and I think it's because I was taking it the wrong way. If you can at least listen to my first 2 ones, my tone and my voice per se as a podcaster has really changed. It's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more lenient, more flowy. I feel the first 2 were very robotic, very academic, and I guess I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't, just because I was getting a lot of inspiration from high-end academics, some high performers that I thought I was oh well, I wanna be like them, and I was taking too much of what they were and not letting who I was go out. And I guess that's one of the reasons I really was neglecting the previous podcast and kind of neglecting getting to this point, because I was I don't want to get into that. Oh no, it feels like I'm preparing for a school project, I'm preparing this and that, and there were so many topics I wanted to talk about, but I just didn't feel the motivation. But it brought me up to this point, and one of the big things I've learned in life, and I think it's important, is that motivation sucks. Yeah, I said it, motivation sucks. And it's one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, and the biggest lie they sell to us, especially with so many motivational speakers or life coaches, or all these people you see on Facebook with their motivational quotes or motivational status updates or motivational this, motivation. It's stop. Motivation sucks. It really does. It sucks. Why? Because motivation is for children, and that's what I learned. Motivation's for kids, for amateurs. It's not for people who really go out and do things. So it's not really for people who go out and get shit done. Those type of people really get out there. They make it happen. They don't need motivation. They have actions, and that's a little bit where I felt. I fell into that idea that I don't have I'm not motivated. I don't feel motivated to follow up on this idea, on this project. But it's not about that. It's about showing up and just making things happen. And that's what I'm trying to communicate to you today. Motivation sucks. Honestly, it sucks. Stop with your quotes on Facebook. Stop with your posts or following these motivational speakers, or whatever you want to call them, gurus or life coaches, that the only thing they're good at is telling other people how to live their lives. Have you ever thought about some of those speakers and some of the motivational coaches? What do they have to prove to you that there's somebody to look up to? Were they businessmen, successful businessmen, entrepreneurs? Did they have a rough life and they got out of it and now they have a successful business or something? Or are they just telling you, yeah, believe in yourself, you got this, you're an amazing person, you have the light, to light up the future, and all that stupid stuff. Like, stop it. Honestly, stop hurting yourself and stop being so childish. Adults, professionals, don't need motivation. They need actions. They act. They get up and do things. They make things happen. Just like today, I woke up and I'm like, I'm gonna get this done, because it's not about feeling motivated. It's about getting things done and about communicating what I thought and my ideas and my beliefs. And that's where I want to share with you today, guys. Stop with the motivation. It sucks. Get up and start working. Put in effort. Put in work. Stop being like one of those dreamers. I have a really I think the best way to say it is I really don't like people who are dreamers, because I used to be one myself a lot, and all I did was surround myself with dreamers. And sometimes people are like, yeah, I'm gonna surround my people who are just saying all this positive and all these great things, like, yeah, we're gonna be successful, or I'm gonna have this, or just wait for this and this and that, but they never do anything, And that's what I noticed. Like, dreamers, all they do is dream. Dreamers stay dreaming. They never achieve. They never go out there and make it happen. All they do, and you see them all the time. You can see them on your Instagram, you can see them on the Twitter, you can see them on your Facebook, you can see them around your group of friends or your family. They're people who are just telling themselves these lies, these motivational lies, to make themselves feel good that they're not making things happen, They're just saying things like, oh yeah, I'm gonna own a business one day, or oh yeah, I got this, it's gonna happen, this and that, but they never make anything happen. So do yourself a favor and stop surrounding yourself with that kind of people. And stop being a dreamer, because dreamers just stay dreaming. They never achieve, I think one way to approach it is not to say that it's not important to have dreams. It is, but I think it's better to have goals and objectives. Those are tangible. Those are achievable, Be a visionary. Go out there and make things happen. Don't wait for this motivation or this dreams, Because then you see all those people who are always just like motivating, and once the motivation is gone, they're done. They don't get anything done. And that's kind of a little bit what happened to me this past couple weeks, is that I really forgot that. I started really hyped. I started really excited that, oh, this is going to be really cool, because I really want to share a lot of stuff with people. And I personally like talking and teaching and developing and guiding people and sharing people with stuff that I like. But once the motivation was gone, it's like, okay, then what? I let it go, because you no longer are focused on what's important and making it happen. It's about showing up. Sometimes you have to do things you don't like, or you don't want to. Sometimes you have to make things happen, and that's part of being a high performer, an achiever. So stop it with the motivation. Stop it with the daydreaming. Stop it with this and that, and the status updates and this and that. Make it happen. Just like do yourself a favor and make it happen. Just get up, and whatever it is that you want to do. If it is that you want to start a blog, if it is that you want to start a podcast, if it is that you want to, I don't know, get a job or learn something, get up and do it. Start looking into information. Make it happen. It's the little steps that make the big changes, Sometimes we want things to quickly change, and we expect like this big, like, celestial thing to like come from the heavens or from the cosmos or from wherever you want it to come from, and just kind of change our lives, something magical. But that's not how reality is, It's the little actions make the big changes, Those are the things that create the habits and transform you. So yeah. So think about it this way, I first heard about this in one of the podcasts I've stopped listening to, honestly, just because my mind has been kind of wandering with a lot of ideas. But and it happens, it's normal that sometimes you kind of lose focus, but it's all about getting back on your feet and making sure you're back on track with everything. But there was this podcast that I've listened to a lot. It was called The Art of Charm, and they once had this podcast with some guy. I forget his name, but I'll try to look for the link and put it in the description so you guys can check it out. But he said something along the lines of like, motivation is for amateurs and actions are for professionals, And the whole podcast was about this idea that how people often like are just waiting for the motivation, or they put in so much things on the motivation instead of acting. Actions make the things change, make things happen. Not motivation, not thinking about it, not waiting for you to get that pump or that, oh yeah, let's go get that done. It's like the same thing with the gym. How many of us and how many people at least started the gym this year were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna new year, new me, super pumped, super motivated. Once the first month was gone, it's like, whatever. You give up, right? Because motivation comes and goes, but it's the actions that stay and change things. So it's about creating those habits and about having that determination to make things happen, to show up every day and make things happen. So that's what I want to share with you guys today, man. Just stop thinking about motivation. It sucks. It really does. Stop it. Stop wasting your time listening to these gurus or these self-help coaches. The only thing they're good at is keeping people weak. It's keeping people pathetic. It's keeping people down. It's keeping people thinking that just because they wish something, it's gonna change. That's not how life works. Stop wasting your time with stuff like that. Stop wasting your time surrounding yourself with nothing but dreamers. People who just, you see them all the time, especially I see them a lot in like multi-level marketing companies and stuff like that. They're just like, yeah, we're a team, we're gonna make things happen from 0 to 1,000,000 and this and that. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. It doesn't. All that motivation, it's gone. It's not gonna work. It's actions that change things. Let your success speak for you. Let your success show people who you are, and don't be like one of those people that has to have that motivation to make things happen. Motivation sucks. It sucks. Stop wasting your time with it. Get up, get it done. And I think that's one of the most important things I've learned in my life, and one of the most important things that it's just important to have with me all the time, and kind of what I want to share with you, and the reason I'm back at it. In all honesty, I just started this recording as a rough draft. Let's see if it was recording, but I just went with it and made it happen. So hopefully you guys can learn something from me and from this, and just make things happen. Stop being a dreamer and become an achiever. Stop being somebody who needs motivation and just get things done. I'll go ahead and leave a link to the podcast I mentioned about the art of charm with that episode, and I'm also gonna leave a link to another person I've learned a lot from. Her name's Mel. I think her last name's Gibson. No, not Mel Gibson. That's the artist. What an idiot. Mel something. But she's a woman who has this thing called the 5-second rule to stop procrastinating, and it's pretty much I've posted about it in my Instagram account, which I kind of managed for a while as a little blog entry thingy. But it's there. It's go check it out. The link's gonna be on the bottom, but I also put the link to an actual video on YouTube, so you guys check it out. It's really cool. It's pretty much about getting up and getting things done. So hopefully you guys enjoy this little recording and this quick interaction. I do have some plans for the future podcast. I am working with some local people, local talent, to try to bring them on board and do a longer length podcast. Talking to some people from a local brand called Death by Society, Street Styles, pretty cool guys, graphic tees and all that good stuff, and also talking to some cool girls with this boutique called NoRu, and talk a little bit about their entrepreneur journey and all that good stuff. I'll go ahead and provide links for this stuff on my description so you can also check them out. So that being said, thanks for listening to that Fashion Guide podcast, and stay awesome, stay cool, and motivation sucks. Don't forget, okay guys? Later.